That's an easy answer. Okay. The tree I'm touching is a Seattle native. Now, over there is the western red cedar. I mean, that's a deodar cedar. This is what we call the western red cedar. And the reason we call it the western red cedar is because there's also an eastern red cedar, a Japanese red cedar, a southern red cedar, a Rocky Mountain red cedar. You get the point. Many trees around the world are called cedar, and the word doesn't refer to the appearance of the foliage or the cones. It has to do with the wood. It's a lumber term. Cedar wood is rot resistant and aromatic. It can be lightweight or heavyweight. It can be pale or dark, but it's rot resistant. So most of the trees that live a long time because they resist rot are cedars. In Washington State, the Alaska cedar, and there's one of those over there, lives over 3,000 years. And the western red cedar, which is this, can live over 2,000 years. Whereas something short-lived in the world of trees lives about as long as a human, like a willow tree or a cottonwood, a poplar, a birch, that kind of stuff. They grow fast and usually die young. Cherry trees too, for the most part. There's some cherry trees in Japan 400 years old, and there's some magnificent cherry trees in our state that date from the late 1800s, but on the whole they die young. So the red cedar here is remarkable for being one of the largest trees on Earth. In fact, there's only a few trees recorded that have more size. One of them is the sequoia dendron that grows in the mountains of California. Another is the coast redwood, and the third is from New Zealand called the kauri. Those three can get bigger. This is the next biggest growing. And it is told by the aromatic foliage. I mean, if you were to squish this and smell it, it does not smell piney. It's more fruity, frankly. It smells kind of like fruitcake. And the cones are the size of raisins. And the bark is cinnamon colored when it doesn't have algae on it. You can see some of the algae on that, which makes it green. So in Seattle, we have specimens of this cedar with trunks like this. But if you go on the Olympic Peninsula or Vancouver Island, there are trunks 20 feet in diameter, okay? And they're hollow, generally. And in Seattle, the tallest are perhaps 175 feet tall. But the tallest ever recorded was 277 when they cut it down. That's how they measure it. So the Indians around here, what we call the Duwamish, etc., they valued this more than any other tree because they took the trunk and hollowed it out to make canoes, and then they floated around Lake Washington, Puget Sound. They made their totem poles out of the wood. They took planks and made their longhouses that they lived in. They took the bark and they made the equivalent of, you're all wearing rain jackets. Well, they didn't have rain jackets, so they had to take the bark and make their own hats and their skirts and whatnot, and it worked pretty well. You can go to the Burke Museum and see a whole bunch of that kind of stuff. They were really good at it.
these days, we use the cedar wood for cedar shingles up on roofs, or for decks, and for planter boxes, wherever rot resistance is important. It's very lightweight compared to some hardwood. And it's horrible firewood, okay? So you don't want to burn it. Okay, let's see, we're gonna go